Welcome back. Today's notes are going to be on simplifying radicals. Okay, and this is going to be on page 39. So, radical. Well, another word for is square root. So we are just simplifying square roots, which we call radicals. So we're going to start with an example. And we are going to multiply root 6 times root 2. And when you multiply root 6 times root 2, all you do is multiply the inside numbers. So that will be the square root of 6 times 2, which just equals the square root of 12. Now that's not completely done yet. So I'm going to put a little asterisk here and write simplify. Because at the end of these notes, I'm going to have you come back and simplify that one. But right now, you don't know how to simplify it, but you will at the end. Okay, let's do another example like that. We have 4 root 3 times 3 root 8. And here we multiply the outside numbers, and then we multiply the inside numbers. So we're going to do 4 times 3, because those are the outside numbers, times the square root of 3 times 8, which will be 12 root 24. And again, that's not done yet, so let's write an asterisk, because we need to simplify that. At the notes, you'll come back and simplify that. So that's multiplying. Pretty easy, straightforward. Now we're going to move on to simplifying. Okay, so simplifying. An example for simplifying. The square root of 45. Okay, so if I have my calculator and I put the square root of 45 in here, I get that thing. Okay, so this is approximately 6.708203932, but it actually goes on longer than that, and that's called an irrational number. And irrational numbers, they're not good. Okay, because I can't work with that. I don't know what the end of that number is. It goes on forever, right? So that's a bad number. Okay, so to simplify this, I'm going to break this 45 up. Okay, so I want to think of two numbers that multiply to 45. Well, what multiplies to 45? 9 times 5, right? So I'm going to write the square root, and I'm going to write a big square root. 9 times 5. Okay, so you figure what multiplies in 45? 9 times 5. Well, just like we did up here, we had 6 times 2, but it was originally written like that. So I can actually split this up to look like that. So this could actually be written as the square root of 9 times the square root of 5. Well, do I know either of those? Are either of those nice numbers? What's the square root of 9? The square root of 9 is 3. So instead of writing this, I can just write 3 times the square root of 5, which I can write a little bit neater as 3 root 5. And that is our answer simplified. Okay? It looks a whole lot better than this guy right here. Okay? That's our whole point, is we want to make this simplified into this instead of writing it as our irrational number. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and try one. So try this next example. Simplify the square root of 72. Okay, the video is going to stop. Go ahead and do it, then I'll go over it after. So again, we want to think of two numbers that multiply to 72. Okay, you could have chosen any two numbers that multiply to 72. I'm going to go with 9 and 8. Okay, so I'm going to take my 72 and break it up. I have the square root of 9 times the square root, the square root of 9 times 8. Well, now I can break this up into the square root of 9 times the square root of 8. Do I know either of those? Yeah, square root of 9, that's 3, times the square root of 8. Now I'm going to guess a lot of you stopped there. That's not completely done. Because look at 8. Can I break up 8 anymore? Yeah, I can break up 8 into the square root of 4 times 2. So that would be the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. And I know the square root of 4, that's 2. I need to bring down my 3. And now I have 3, 2, which is 6, times root 2, and written a little bit prettier is 6 root 2. Okay, so if you got to this step, that's pretty good, but you just need to look again and be like, okay, is there anything else I can do with this? And then you can see that you can pull out another number. So now what I want you to do is go back up to where we put our asterisks, and I want you to simplify both of these, square root of 12 and then 12 root 24. Go ahead and do that. So when I simplify square root of 12, I'm going to break that up into square root of 4 times 3. So square root of 4 times the square root of 3. Well, I know the square root of 4 is 2 times root 3. So written a little bit prettier, we have 2 root 3. And then root 24, let's break that up into 6 times